Emerging from the shadows of Connecticut's deep history, as News 8's Scott McDonald tonight will introduce us to a Native American tribe that has long been forgotten in this state. Here's tonight's closer look.
Close your eyes and you may still see the Connecticut landscape just as its first inhabitants did. Quinnipiac Indians, Pequot, Mohawk, to name a few, and a tribe you've likely never heard of, the Wangongs.
They were really the first people.
Natives of the Middletown, Portland area. Then the English colonists arrived.
Before you know it, they said, well, guess what? You're leaving and we're going to take over.
Gary O'Neill is one of the few remaining descendants of the Wangongs left. He wanted to reclaim their place in history.
I went to my grandmother and she just talked to me about why she didn't want to help me. And she said, for me to go back, just thinking about this is so painful.
Prejudice, discrimination, cheated off the land they lived on for hundreds of years.
She was born in 1899. She said there was nothing about being proud of being an Indian.
It's a painful journey.
She talked about being a man without a country. She said, do you know what it's like to live in America and feel like you don't have a place? That none of your people counted.
A people's history he's now validating by documentation, pictures, proof. He can trace his relatives back 250 years.
Back to 1760. We can actually go back that far.
Pictures from the late 1800s, one showing 5 generations of the family together.
When they got to 5 generations, that was time for, a gathering, and most of our gatherings were in the fall. And that's typical of natives.
The collection is one of the most elaborate in the state.
Making sure that the people before her were validated.
It chronicles Wangong lineage, assimilation into the colonist communities, church life, and even Wangong men fighting in the Civil War. A journey of survival.
Number one, we survived.
A lesson of perseverance in the face of life's most unjust treatment.
When injustice comes your way, yes, you have to talk about it, but you've got to go on. And I think that's a really important thing because my great-grandmother used to say, if you don't go on, they win.
Scott McDonald, News 8.